Welcome everybody back to our tiny house, and let's see if we can knock out this kitchen today. Alright, so it looks like we're probably going to make 3 more cabinets, but again we're going to be using one of these as our base, and then we'll just keep using it, modifying it and making it whatever we need to make it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So if we look at the house, picture inside, we can see that this has got a sink over here directly in line with this window. We're gonna make one too, and it's gonna be a little bit different, and that's totally okay. And if we see here that this has got a dishwasher, I don't know, maybe we're probably not gonna do that, but yeah, we'll probably make a 3-foot sink right here, and then we'll do some filler cabinets on the side and hopefully make these wall cabinets as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm in my project file right where we left off. I'm going to double click on this guy right here, and this is going to be my 3-foot sink cabinet. And what I'm going to do is file, save as, family, and call it base cabinet 3-foot sink. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this 3D view. Let's go to the front view. Yeah, I kind of forgot about all this. Let's see if I can just move this whole thing over. Nope, it's not going to let me use it. Okay. So we do have this issue going on. I'm going to go ahead and let's try something new here. Let's try to push this over like so, and then push this over like so, and hopefully, things will be much improved. So this is the front. This is way too big. I think this is 4 feet. Let's go over here. And let's actually use these reference points. So let's grab this. I think once you click on it, you can change this. Yep, there we go. And we're going to change this to 3 feet. And so it did work on the one side, but we just need to push this side back. And we're good. Okay, so because this is going to have filler cabinets on both sides, I'm going to go back to the front view. Oops. And I want that 1-inch gap on this side as well. So let's see if I can just simply do that. Okay, so I wasn't even exact. I was off by a 1/16 of an inch. That's always fun to see. Okay, so what we need to do is go ahead and edit extrusion. And can it lock directly to 2 or 1? I mean, sorry. Doesn't really like that. Look at that. Wow, that is a very precise fraction there. So I think if I click on this, okay, now I can just change this. Alright, so we want 1 inch, and then this, boom. Go ahead and finish. So we got 1 inch, 1 inch, and then this one, we're gonna do 2 doors. So I'm actually gonna delete this. And I'm going to give the illusion of the doors. So I just pulled this up real quick, so it's kind of the same idea. This thing's got a bar right there, right in the middle, so that seems kind of, I don't know if I like that. Okay, so just thinking practical. Yeah, that's the right word. Okay. Alright, so let's bring this down. And hold on, I told you I want this to line up with the other cabinets. So what is this too? Okay. Alright, now delete this. Now we're going to take this and edit this extrusion. We're going to come down. So this is something like that. And this is something like this. And this is over here like this. And this is over here like that. And we'll adjust that in just a second. What I do want to know is this right here, from there to there. Is that 2? And no, it's not. It's 3. So you can click on it, type in 2. Pull this down. I want 1/4 of an inch. now I'm going to delete this because it's kind of in the way. And what we can do right here is actually put 2 of these side by side. So we can take this, push it all the way over here so it lines up with this. There's our one, so it's lining up with that. And then we can simply take this. I'm going to bring it in like that, and I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm selecting those 4, and I'm going to copy it. And look at that. Perfect, except this gap is too big. So I'm actually going to zoom in really close to get halfway, and I'm just going to eyeball it. And there you go, it says 4th. That's good enough. So basically, we have 3 shapes here. The big rectangle, the 2 smaller rectangles, which are the doors, and then those gaps. And then when I say update, hooray, look at that. Okay, now what I want you to do, because this is a sink cabinet, and there is the sink that I'm going to use is in the shared folder, so you can go ahead and snag that, download it, and then bring it in. I just don't know exactly how big it is, but I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of gut this thing from the top view. So I'm gonna go in 3D. So all the other ones don't really matter, but this one kind of does because it actually has a sink in it. So I'm gonna go over to Create, Void Form, Void Extrusion, set my work plane, pick plane, and then I'm going to do rectangle and do a negative, I don't know, 2 inches, I guess. Let's try that. Something like this, and then it's going to go down 8 inches, that's fine. You can actually go down a little bit further. Okay, that's going to work. That right there is part of this extrusion, so I hope this works. Alright, so again, I'm going to go to File, Save As, just to make sure. Alright, now let's go ahead and load it into the project. And I haven't looked at this in a while, so so you can see that didn't work. Alright, so I'm in this 3D view, and it's going to be really it's just not going to work. So I'm going to go into first floor, zoom in on that kitchen area, and go back to architecture, components, and there it is. So I'm going to put it like this. And this one you can actually see because we have that huge hole in the top. And rotate it. Actually, all cabinets have holes in the top like that. Space cabinets do. I'm going to put it right there. And look at that. Fits perfectly in front of that lovely window. Now, if you want to put a dishwasher in there, I am not going to do that, but you're more than welcome to. You know, you just got to slide the window over, modify it, and that's awesome. Do that. If you want, you're more than welcome to, but I'm just going to leave it there. So let's go back to our kitchen view. And there it is. Look at that. What a beaut. Okay, so that is in. Good, good, good. All is well. Now we need to make this. Now, this one's going to have a 2-inch little cove thing. I'm going to make this whole thing fill in the back here, so this is going to be a very interesting cabinet. But it's going to have this, and it's going to also fill in this gap. So I'm actually going to jump into my kitchen because I don't want to move any more walls again. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to zoom in right here, and my model line, I need 2 inches there, plus my actual cabinet's going to be, so 2 feet 3, just thinking out loud right now. I'm going to go back and get rid of that. Alright, so this cabinet's going to fill in 4 feet 5. So 4 feet 5, and then from there to there is 2 feet 5. So I got 4 feet 5 and 2 feet 5. And then while we're at it, what's this gonna be? 1 foot 1. So that's kind of nice. Alright, so these people are going to have to either, we could put a dishwasher here if we wanted, but I'm not going to do that. What they're going to have to do is wash their dishes by hand. Alright, so here is my sink cabinet. I'm going to go up to File, Save As, and I'm going to do the 1.5, the 1 foot 1 inch one first. So 1 foot 1 inch sink. Not going to write sink there. Save. So now we have a new one to work with. I'm going to jump into that front view again. And actually, I'm going to jump back into the reference. So I should be able to type in 1 foot 1 inch. And look what happens. It gets all wonky and crazy, and that's going to be fine. Let's see if I can just push this in and say delete. I don't know what I deleted, but about to find out. Alright, so we can go ahead and delete that. And we know that we got this guy's good. See, if we would have put dimensions on the other one like this, I think it would have constrained itself, if that's a word, into this area and actually made, you know, exactly what we wanted. But that's neither here nor there. Alright, so this one's going to butt up to that one. So that one needs to be 1 inch. This one, on the other hand, needs to be, let's make it 2 inches. Because we want that edge, that 2 inch gap edge around everything that we make. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Click Edit Extrusion, click this line. And change this to 2 inches. Which don't hit finish yet because you got to bring this one in like so. Good. Now we can hit finish. So it looks kind of weird here, but it'll look right. At least I think it will when we make the other part. Okay, so copy this down, and we want to. Do we want the 2 inch gap as well? So it's got to be. It's got to be 8.5, right? And then all I'm going to do is take this, edit extrusion, grab a dimension, grab this bottom line, grab this, click the bottom line. Oh, it doesn't. That's odd. Okay, well, it does not like that. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drag it down like that. Can I just draw a line up? Saw this problem before happen. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but usually when you make a dimension, especially inside of an extrusion, you can definitely change it. But right there, not working so much. Alright. And look at that, now it updates. I guess I need to make it in the extrusion. Thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Alright, anyway, we want something to look like this. That's what we want. Alright, so let's go ahead and we already saved it, so we just need to load it into the project. And I'm in first floor, which is perfect. Exactly where I want to be. Take this, rotate it. The thing about rotating, if you kind of click on something and you rotates and it says you're on a very steep angle or something, that's because you got to set your work plane. So just be very aware about that, especially with modifiers. They all seem to need that wonderful work plane to be set to use them, and it makes sense because they don't know. The program doesn't know which plane you're trying to rotate it on. So, whoa, okay, look at that. So that's good because look at, we got the inch now, we got the 2 inches there, and now let's just go ahead and finish this off. So I'm going to actually double click on this, bring this one open again because this one's going to have 2 doors. And so again, got to be super careful with this. This is my sink cabinet, so I'm going to do file save as, and this will be my base 2 feet 5, right? Yeah, 2 feet 5 inch cabinet we're calling it, even though it's much bigger than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Oh, oops. Yeah, I knew something was wrong. Can't use quotes, which is too bad, because that's how this stuff is usually made. So let's go to reference level. And again, I'm just going to click on that reference plane. I'm going to come up here and click on this. I'm going to type in 2 feet 5 inches. I'm going to take this and push this back. Perfect. And then I'm going to jump back in that front view, and you're going to see how this thing's all skewed. So this is the 2 feet. So this side's good. So that's going to go up to that other thing. I'm going to delete this. That's that void that's in the back there. This needs to be 2. So let's go ahead and edit this. And that's why those are grayed out, because I'm not actually in the extrusion. No, look, that's grayed out too. Wait. Yeah, it's grayed out. I don't know why it's doing that. It's got to be something super simple that I'm just not seeing. But you know what? This way works just as well. Put a little construction line, and then come back like so. Delete the line. Hit finish. There we go. It's so, man, I wish I knew what was going on there so I could tell you, but I don't. Alright, bring this over here. Bring this here. Make those line up. They should have locked, so I'm pretty sure, I'm confident they did. Alright, and now the middle. Take this. Oh, whoops. I grabbed the wrong line. There we go. So again, I'm just doing the same thing here. I could get out, you know, that, but look at that. That's a little bit to the right, but no one's ever going to see it from this far away. So that's going to be perfect. Okay, so now if we think about this, and we can bring this in. Let's bring this into the project first so we can kind of analyze this in a second. Yep, so we want to make the tiny house. And then again, rotate it. Move it into place. And now this looks great, but we have this huge gap. Not only do we have this huge gap, but I'm going to show you right now, because of the toe kick, you got some things going on here we need to fix. So we need to fill this in, and just by filling it in this way, I'm not sure that's going to solve the problem, and it won't because of the toe kick. So in my house, we just put a piece of trim right here and filled in that gap, but let's go ahead and see if we can modify this thing to make it fit perfectly so we don't have to do that. So I'm going to double click on this. I'm back in this. I don't want to mess with any of this stuff, so what I'm actually going to do is work all in 3D, and I want to work on the left side here. So I'm going to say create extrusion, set my work plane, pick my plane, pick this side. I'm going to outline this, and you can see that I totally missed. I'm going to come back this way. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop right there and use the extend trim tool, 'cause that's what it's there for. Up, over, like this, and then this thing is 2 feet. So because those line up perfectly, that's 2 feet. And what we can do is click on this and click join it to the other cabinet so we don't have that seam. That looks good. And now let's load into the project, because we got one more thing to do after this. But so you can see right there that it looks pretty good, except you have this big old base part that's not gonna fit there. So what we can do is actually fix this one. This will be easier, I think. Yeah, let's just fix this one. So let's double click on this one, go to the front, actually go to the 3D view. We're gonna make an extrusion. We're gonna set our work plane. Let's pick our plane to this side, and I'm gonna make a box like that, and I'm basically gonna jet out whatever the toe kick is, and I think it's 3 inches. Better be 3 inches. And then hit apply. So it's gonna look like that. I'm just using this as a filler. And then I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna say join to the cabinet. There we go. And that should fill in that gap. Alright, so let's say load into project. Yep. And say overwrite. And there it is. So it filled in. It's a little weird, not really what would be happening, but you know, it gives the perfect illusion of what we're doing. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Okay, so let's put in the sink. So in the Google shared folder, there's the sink all ready to go, and I think I already put it in here. So let's, yep, Kohler 1 all in one. You can go to BIM object if you don't like this and get whatever you want, but you just gotta be super careful when you put this in, because it's gotta go on that top little ledge. Like so. So this is actually an above countertop all in one. So we might rehost it once we make the countertop, which I think we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and just delete this right now, even though that's how you brought it in, so good practice. Anywho, let's make this countertop. So let's do a model in place, and what do we want to call this? We want to use generic model, call this countertop. Set your work plane, pick your plane. We're gonna pick the top, like so. And now that I picked the plane, I can go into my first floor. The plane's been set, so I don't even need to really worry about that. And I can just draw it from here. And now I want a 1 inch overhang. So it's 2 feet, 2 feet 1. So I'm just gonna come over across 1, and then I'm gonna come back to 6. All the way across, all the way across, all the way across, and I want to make this not wood siding. Hilarious. I'm just gonna use maybe something that came with it. Probably later go to my favorite website and change it, but right now let's go with countertop marble. So hopefully this isn't anything new, and you can see I'm just going through, and you can fast forward this part. I'm just going through and making the appearance. I believe there's a stone. Yep. Exposed. Ooh, that looks nice. What is this? Yeah. I think the granite will look nicer. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for what we're doing. Although this one, well, let's use this one. It makes no difference what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna apply this. Apply, click OK. So this is now countertop. It's gonna be 1.5 inches. Hit apply. Click done, and I think it went down into it, maybe? I don't know. Let's go back to the kitchen. Oh. So that did not work. It reset the plane to... It reset it to the floor. Huh. So anyways, we can just say pick plane. Pick that, and look at that. Magic. So again, that was edit, work plane, pick plane, and then boom, right up there. One thing I totally forgot to do is to cut this out. So let's go and say edit extrusion. And what you can do from here is just grab your rectangle and just like that. Boom. Countertop in. And if we turn on realistic, there we go. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but finish that. Okay, so now, and it butts up nicely to our window. So component, and then I'm going to place this on top. There it is. I'm going to take off realistic because it's taking up too much memory and things are getting crazy. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to, let's see, can I do it in first floor? I can. Okay, so there it is. There's its graphical representation. I'm just hitting the D-pad until I kind of put it in the place I want it. So right there. Perfect. Alright, so I know I said we're going to try to get this whole kitchen done in this video, but we're 27 minutes in. But look at that. You know, it's a simple little kitchen. There's no fridge or cooktop. We'd put the cooktop over here. We're not going to worry about that. You understand how to bring in components. If you want to do that, make this kitchen bigger, make it awesome, that's awesome. Totally up to you. What we're going to do is add the wall cabinets and some mosaic tile and keep working. All right.